Hello, and welcome to the Quinlan Hospice Butterfly Release Celebration. I am sorry we can't all be together to offer each other support and camaraderie. In these difficult times, we need to support each other more than ever. The love that we hold for those dearest to us lives on forever. As we reflect on these loved ones, please remember that love is the most important thing and the greatest gift we have to give. It is a significant part of hospice. This butterfly release celebration has been sponsored by Bob McCracken and his staff at Smith McCracken Funeral Homes. The McCracken family has been a supporter of the hospice since the very beginning over 40 years ago. Thank you, Bob, for your continued support of this meaningful celebration. I look forward to many more.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I am Marlena Shedding, Chief Operating Officer with the Karen Ann Quinlan Hospice. On behalf of our gracious sponsor, Board of Directors, staff, and volunteers, I'd like to welcome you today, formally and cordially, to the 2022 Butterfly Release. This is our first live Butterfly Release event since 2019. This makes today's event all the more special, and it's great to see you all here in person. Traditionally, it is a very busy weekend with 3 events in Warren County, New Jersey, Pike County, Pennsylvania, and finally, the conclusion at this wonderful space at Sussex County Community College. For folks who have traveled to join us today, we thank you, and we thank all of our families that have continued to support this event via Zoom. Through this modern technology, we have been able to grow the event and reach more families than ever before. I'd like to introduce now our longstanding and generous sponsor for today's event, Rachel Zebrel, manager of Smith McCracken and Wood Funeral Homes. Rachel?
Thank you, Marlena. There's one who had the early release program. Thank you, Marlena. On behalf of my team at Smith McCracken and Wood Funeral Homes, it has been our privilege to partner with Karen Ann Quinlan Hospice in welcoming each of you to share this very special event, the 2022 Butterfly Release Celebration. At this time, I do want to send a special thank you to all the veterans who have served so diligently to protect our lovely country. As Marlena mentioned, we are so pleased to gather with you in person once again. This event, since its inception in 2000, was designed as a gathering, a celebration with your loved ones in the community to remember and to honor those who have made a difference in our lives. It makes me very proud to say that since the very first Butterfly Release, we have met that goal. The Butterfly Release celebration has touched the lives of thousands of families and friends nationwide and even overseas. So many of you who have joined us this year and year after year to acknowledge your loved ones have made an impact on our lives. Loved ones who are still with us today and those who have passed before us. The impact and outreach of the event has been successful and far-reaching. Equally important is the good work that is done with the funds raised. Since 2000, almost $725,000 have been raised for the hospice mission, and we've released over 8,750 butterflies into our community. These butterflies not only signify summer and joy, but a symbolic reminder of loved ones for so many of us here with this afternoon.
I'm going to announce the guest readers, but before I do, I don't know if you've seen this lovely floral butterfly, this sculpture up front, and this is in memory of Frederica Rosano from June 1951 through May 2002, and the message from the Rosano family is as follows: 20 years has passed. We lost a wonderful wife, mother, grandma. not forgotten, still in our hearts. Thank you so much for sharing that with us today. I hope you'll take a picture of it. It's beautiful. Our guest readers today are Andrew Juritsma, Smith McCracken and Wood Funeral Homes, Funeral Director, Pastor Joanne Windsor, Karen Ann Quinlan Hospice Chaplain, Rob Rosalenko, Joseph T. Quinlan Bereavement Center, Director of Bereavement, Brianni Torres, Smith McCracken and Wood Funeral Homes, Funeral Director, Suzanne Kimball, Karen Ann Quinlan Hospice Volunteer. She's also going to be our Volunteer of the Year. Nancy Moody, Joseph T. Quinlan Bereavement Center, Bereavement Counselor. Kathleen Meredith, Karen Ann Quinlan Hospice Volunteer. Lisa Burse, Karen Ann Quinlan Hospice Volunteer. Josephine Noon, Washington Borough Councilwoman. Barbara Palumbo, Karen Ann Quinlan Hospice Nursing Supervisor. Heather Holt, Karen Ann Quinlan Hospice Volunteer. Jane O'Gorman, Karen Ann Quinlan Hospice Nurse Liaison. Before we begin reading the names of our loved ones, I'd like to welcome Kathleen Meredith to perform a musical selection for us. And then, immediately following Kathleen's solo, I invite our first reader, Andrew Juritsma, to begin commemorating the names of our loved ones. I'd also like to take this time to thank our musician and Karen Ann Quinlan Hospice volunteer, Ken Roberts, for joining us today to perform as we commemorate the celebrated names for 2022.
When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I would offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When evening shadows and the stars appear, there is no one there to dry your tears. I could hold you for a million years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I would never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met. There's no doubt in my mind where you belong. I'd go hungry, I'd go black and blue, I'd go crawling down the avenue. There's nothing that I wouldn't do to make you feel my love. The storms are raging on a rolling sea, and on the highway of regrets, the winds of change are blowing wild and free. You ain't seen nothing like me yet. There's nothing that I wouldn't do. Go to the ends of the earth for you. Make you happy, make your dreams come true, to make you feel my love, to make you feel my love.
Antoinette Rando with love from Michelle Wiebel. Alice McAuliffe Bohan with love from Ronald and Mary Ellen Donor. Jill and Holly Palanchar with love from Dave Palanchar. Frederica Rosano with love from Michael A. Rosano Sr. Dennis J. Leonard, with love from Ellen M. Leonard. Alice Sanders, with love from Carly Sanders. Anna Mazurova, with love from Vladimir Bristock. Sandra Smith Fredericks, with love from William F. Fredericks and daughter Ruth Ann F. Tackix. Sandra Smith Fredericks, with love from William F. Fredericks. Dan Bell, with love from Joseph and Linda Bell. Maria Zoppi, with love from Rena Maslow. Ray Quartz, with love from friends and loved ones. Karen A. Kahn, the Princess, with love from Peter Kahn. Maureen Herzog, with love from Kevin Lenahan and family. Gunnar Jeffrey Bagley, with love, Rachel Peer. Jacqueline Studnicki, with love from Studnicki family. Dion Osborne, with love from Grandma. Dion Osborne, with love from Eileen Del Bagno. William S. Malloy, Jr., with love from Mary Malloy. Betsy Lee C. Conrad, with love from David J. Conrad. George Bisco, with love from Irene Bisco. Linda C. Robson, with love from Christine Galusi. Linda Robson, with love from Patricia Brine. Howard Butch Weinrich, with love from your daughters, sons-in-law, grandchildren, and Sophie. Palma Earl, with love, the Earl family, the Earl and Hamilton family. Virginia Jill Gebauer, with love from Annette Gebauer. Angela Marie Snow, with love from Joan Ann Haynes. Jeffrey Gaynor, with love from Friends of Hospice. Earl W. Schick Jr., with love from Cheryl S. Schick. Cheryl P. Kinney, with love from Mike Kinney. Betty Lou Fabian, with love from Josie Fabian Jr. Catherine Cristiano, with love from Steve Cristiano. Neil Russell Goldberg, with love from Anne-Marie Verrecchia and Daniel Goldberg. Pamela Malone, with love from Friends of Hospice.
Joseph Abdi, Rosalie A. Campora, William J. Ackerman, Harriet Admisick, Mom, Kathleen Agnelli, Margaret Peg Agnelli, Frank Agnelli Jr., Frank Agnelli Sr., Mary Ahern, Matt Alessi, Alvin Allen, Alvin R. Allen, Ashley Allen, Lou Amare, Jean Ame, Walter Anderson, Michael Anthony, Dorothy Antizo, Pat Apgar, Christina Leah Apgar, Sheila Apgar Jerry, Tracy Apgar Lance, Helen and Pop Artiglieri, Martina Augustine, Dr. David Old, Carmine P. Almenta, Nanny Peggy Babcock, Jesse Douglas Babcock, Zoe Marie Babcock, Bagnato family, Robert L. Baker, Tyler Balog, Camille Balsamello, Bill Baumrick, Rosemary A. Bammert, Gerald Band, Elwin V. Barker, Eleanor Bauer Band, Joseph Baumgartner, Victoria Baumgartner, Chet Beams, Amy Bellou, Emma Bellou, Jean M. Bechtold, Bill Becker, Kelsey Bedurka, Dan Bell, Gary F. Bell, Nancy Bellis, Joseph Bellucci, Russell Lewis Bennett, Pop, Benson family, Raymond Bernroth, Virginia Ginny Berry, Joseph W. Bilski, Gunnar Jeffrey Bigley, Grace Pagato, Angelina Bissonette, George Bitsko, Jerry Blandino, Jean Blummer, Ronald T. Boneman, Evelyn Bolhala, Dan Boltz, Arlene Boneth, Joan Bono, Brent Borum, Kelly Boas, Ted Brace, Anita Brady, Arthur Brom, Dorothy Branford, Helen Brannon, Helen T. Brannon.
Tony and Marjorie Buca, Homer Bucaloo, Irene Bucaloo, Art Burks, Arthur Burks, Angela Burrick, Stanley Burrick, Karen Burke, Thomas Burke, Kelly Burns, Bob Buston, Bill Butler, Virginia Butler, Sister Christine Cables, Domenico Cacamo, Salvatore Cacamo, Arlene Calandriello, Mary Calandriello, Bob Callahan, Sally Blakely Capabianco, Frank Capoletti, Michael Carbonella, Muriel May Card, Tom Card, James Carpenter, Christine L. Carr, Harriet E. Carr, Judith Reese Carr, Patricia Carr, Wilbur A. Carr, Wilbur E. Carr, Christopher Carrere, Rosemary Carey Coleman, Edwin Cashin, Vincent Castellano, Hermelinda Castellanos, Ophelia G. Castellanos, Regilio Roger Castellanos, Anne Marie Catalano, Millie Catalano, Roger Sayer, Anthony Sobrinsky, John Cerciello, Joseph Servanchik Jr., Helen Chamberlain, David J. Charnews, David John Charnews, Ronald E. Christensen, Justin Christian, Catherine Cristiano, Kathy Krish, Josephine Siskowski, Wayne Clark, Joan Clemens, Lois and Tom Cochran, William Coe, James and Pauline Collins, Lucy Combs, Florence Commander, Mary C. Compton, Robert B. Compton. Ophelia Relito Concepcion. Chalet Prayer Connolly Drake. Betsy Lee C. Conrad. Charles J. Conrad. Edith M. Conrad. Jody Cook. Clinton Marshall Cook, Jr. Ray Cords. Ernest T. Kosh. Harold and Joyce Kosh. Howard E. Kosh. R. Patrick Costello. Joseph Coate. George Curtis.
Frank Crystal, Ida Crystal, Julius Servak, Raymond J. Cullen Jr., Anthony Frank Culmon Jr., Anthony Frank Culmon Sr., Bobby Curry, Michael Cutrona, Michelle Rose Jashin, Dad, Mom, Rick and Ricka, Grandma Daisy, Roseanne Damon, Arvid Danielson, Dorothy Danzer, David W. Davenport, Mr. and Mrs. Harold Davey, Alfred and Frances David, Chris Davies, Diane Davis, William Paul Dupree, Arthur DeGraff, Ruth DeGraff, Harry DeGroot, Marilyn DeGroot, Dory Deckmer, Phyllis Delaquila, Emily M. Della Dova, Claudette Lisa DeLong, Alice Damaris, Jean D. Emidio, Leonard Den Blaker, Ford Dennis, Marion Dennis, Richard Dennis, Irene DePace, Joe DePace, Judy Dedesirio, Alex John DeTore, Robert Hugh Devlin, Peter DeBilio, Barbara Donner, Robert Dottie, Paul Doucette, Carmen Dragado, Thomas Draves, Millie Dudas, Monica Dumaze, Anthony D'Urso, Stella DeSwanek, Bob Earl, Douglas Earl, Robert Earl, Scott Eccles, William Edwards, Robert E. Holt, Brian Eisenhard, Walter Ellison, Hillary Jane Elgert, Eileen Epple, Wendy Esposito, Doug Evans, Rogine Evers, Betty Fabian, Betty Lou Fabian, Liam Dean Fagan, family and loved ones, Albert and Rose Finelli, Brody Ference, Gracie Doodlebug Farina, Frank Farinella, Joan Farinella, J. D. Farrell, John Farrell, May Farrell, James T. Favo.
Lexi Fay, Jackie Federico, Francis Weiss, Vera Fell, George Ferre, Mary Ferre, Major Cesar Ferry, Major Gladys Ferry, Florence Ferris, Caitlin M. Fuse, Camille Fizio, George Figueroa, Mary Filipowski, Edward Filipowski, Frederick Fink, Essie C. Findley, Mom, Carol Fishburne, John D. Fisher, Richard Fleck, Anna and Lou Florentine, Anna Florentine, Louis Florentine, Koyana Florio, Barbara Flowers, Brian Flynn, Beverly Foley, Liz Foley, Mr. and Mrs. L.A. Folensby, Beatrice and Charles Forrest, Bill L. Forgerson, Richard Corzano, Wee Fronick, Betty Fraser, Louis Fredo, Sandra Smith Fredericks, Sandra Smith Fredericks, Raymond Freeborn, Alice Freeman, Joan Freeman, James L. Frey, Dominic Mickey Frenzy, Joan Marie Frenzy, Mom Frisia, Joan Gladwell, Pierre R. Gagne, Jean Gallen, Vincent Glasio, Mildred S. Gallo, Anna Ganich, Janet and Fuzzy Gannon, Karen M. Gardner, Michael Garvey, Ed Gaskin, Jeff Gaynor, Jeffrey Gaynor, Virginia Gaybauer, Virginia Jill Gaybauer, David Geisler, Henry and Charlotte Gerald, John Gibbs, Anthony F. Giliberti, Eleanor Giliberti, Taylor Giliberti, Lisa Falco Judice, Rose Nibis, Jack Gold, Harvey Gold, Kenneth Gold, Neil Russell Goldberg, Richard Gonzalez, Sean Francis Gorham, Robert Gorel, Henry Graysick, Betty Gray, Susan Rosica Gray, Tommy Gray.
Jackie Green, Naita Green, Seymour Hank Greenberg, Betty Greenleaf, Mildred Guariello, Roger Guilfoyle, August Gunthner, Betty Halco, Ava Grace Halpin, Linda Parapuchik, Anna G. Harris, Ernest R. Harris, Janet Hastings, Roy Haviland, Fred Hayes, Albert Heidenwolf, Patches Heinrich, Wilbert J. Heinrich, Rose and Howard Hendershot, Alan Herbert, Maureen Herzog, Edward Hesland, Janet P. Hildebrandt, Doris Hill, Raed Hinawi, Steve Hoffman, Damian Christopher Holbrook, Robert Holder, Peter and Rita Holodinsky, Peter Michael Holodinsky, Edith Holstrom, Sister Lorraine Holtzman, Elizabeth Hoppock, Kenneth Hoppock, Julius Horan, Ronald Horbatuick, Alice Horniak, Arthur King Hosking, Jean Ann Hostak, Joan Hothouse, Alberta Hotaling, Holly Howard, Bill Howell, Edith Howell, William Howell Jr., Sister Mary Alice Howley, OSF, Barbara Huber, Margaret Peg Huber, Dave Hughes, Doris Hull, Suzanne Holsizer, James Hutchison, Brant J. Hutner, Viola Iapolo, Elizabeth Incantalupo, Paul Incantalupo, Irwin family, Andrew Jacko, Marie C. Jekyll, Michelle D. James, Kyle Jaskut, Stephen Jaskut, Rich Jestrebsky, Clifford Jenkins, Joan Jenkins, Goldie Gibson, Jean and Dale Johnson, Karen and Joseph Johnson, our loving parents, Christine Johnson, Ina Jurgensen, Sonia Annetta Jurison, Judith C. Kaiser, Alan Kaufman, Linda Kennedy, Eva Kiger.
Charles Kiger, Scott Kilborn, Francis Kinney, Cheryl P. Kinney, Little Billy Keys, Bill Keys, Eve Cabillas, Karen A. Colm, the Princess, Helen A. Konarski, Richard S. Kopachensky, Peggy Cozen, Alice and Russell Crees, Andrew Sean Crees, Judith S. Kroboth, Daniel J. Kroc, Charles N. Couperis, Miles Couperis Sr., Kathy Cutter, Wendy Kutzelman, Robert Kwiatkowski, Thomas Sean Kwiatkowski, Henry Landman, Tommy Lehner, Daniel Lano, Edna M. Lano, Judy Layton, Grover Chip Lazar, Chuck Leach, Jim Letty, Jack Lagon, Eugene Lemoncelli, Dennis J. Leonard, Andy Letizia, Richard W. Letts III, Alan Lewicki, Charlie Lewis, Marion Lewis, Nancy Lewis, Alan Lehman, Arthur John Lahamadou, Edward W. Libby, Minnie C. Licata, Mama Lillian, Terry Lincoln, Sherelle Lippy, Walter K. Litz, Bill Leffler, Carol Lombardi, Barbara Long, loved ones, Mildred Lubowicki, Gail L. Ludwig, Joseph Lupo, Joseph P. Lupo, Ellsworth Mabey, Ruth and Everett McKinnon, Bobby Magarino, John Maggio, Lorene Maggio, Mr. and Mrs. Edward Manzoni, Michelle Marciana, Leon and Dolores Marsh, John Russell Martin, Russell John Martin, Rosemarie Marzarati, Anna Mae Masker, John Mason, Michael Mason, Marianne Massey, Barbara Masters, John Matthews, Marianne Matthews, Carrie Matus, Carrie Orr Matus, William Matuzza.
Fred R. Mall Sr., Anna Mazrova, Meg McAfee, Alice McCullough Bohan, Anne and Charles P. McAvoy Sr., Cy McCabe, Johanna McCabe, Carol R. Vianney McCarthy, Maureen McCormick, Mary McCormick, Deborah McCracken, Shirley McCracken, Peg and Michael McCulley, Doreen McFadden, Barbara McEachin, John McEachin, Bernard J. McGuire, Bernard McGuire, Carly Ray McGuire, John Blackie McNamara, Allie Meehan, Anne and Donald Meehan, Martha Meehan, Greg Meehan Jr., James Mamoli, Irene Mendick, Scott Mendick, Sherry Mendick, Trina Mendick, Lillian Miller, Susan Miller, Edna Milligan, Pamela McHugh Malone, Pamela Malone, Richard Malone, Ernie Minardi, Lisa Mirabella, Irene Mitchell, Kevin Mitchell, Samuel E. Mitchell, Shirley Mitchell, William Malloy, William S. Malloy Jr., John Monahan, Setsu Mondello, Timothy Mondello Jr., Mavis Monell, Marilyn Moore, Deirdre Moore, Donald L. Moore, Francis Moore, Marilyn Moss, Mr. Horay, Edwin Molbeck, Alfred Murphy, Daniel Murphy, Marion Murphy, Mary Murphy, Chuck and Dot Musilli, Charlie Musto, Nancy Myers, Diane H. Nasby, Nana and Grandpa. John J. Nuttison Sr., Brian Eric Neely, Carl E. Nelson, Ethel S. Nelson, Faye H. Nelson, Terry Ann Nelson, John Nervetti, James Jim Newcomer, Adam Nikolov, Paul Nimbley.
Kathy Nitto, Dominic Knoll, James P. Noonan, Jimmy Noonan, Peter G. Nordhausen, Robert Nordstrom, Doris and Harold Nordstrom Sr., Dorothy Norris, Joan Nye, Doris Anue Ogbe, Dorothy K. Oldfield, John D. Oldfield, Eric M. Orr, Evelyn M. Orr, Evelyn Orr, Dion Osborne, Kenley Alexa Osipowicz, Eric Osman, Jacob Osman, John Ozakowski, Holly and Jill Pallentkar, Claire Palmer, Dr. Peter Pandolfi, Karen K. Pardini, Kathleen Pashley, Frank Pastor, Judy Pastor, Joseph and Lillian Patricia, John J. Pavlicek, Carol and Harry Payne, Doris Peterson, Graham Viola Peer, Gramp Burton Peer, Lori Lee Penrose, Matthew Penrose, Ellie Percussi, Thomas Herang, Paul File, Hank Pfister, Alva Phillips, Ann M. Phillips, Walter Fippany, Joey Pfister, Byron Vivas, Ruth Ann Vivas, Ray and Betty Lou Piagesi, Ray and Lou Piagesi, Theodore Piekarski, Valerie Piotrowski, Emmett Pittenger, Leona Pittenger, Anthony Plombino, Joseph Pluta, Carmine and Pat Calizzo, Joseph Polye, John Porter, Eleanor Post, Vincent J. Potenza, Ruth E. Powell, Thomas A. Prelate, Angel Pressure, Elizabeth Liz Price, Katie Pritchard, Marion Pulcini, Stanley and Dorothy Pyatt, Stephen and Mary Quain, Joseph T. Quinlan, Karen Ann Quinlan, Christina Quinn, April and Alan Quinn and family, Joyce and James Quinn and family, Mr. and Mrs. Mike Radicani, Joe Radoncini, Anne Rafalski, Kristen Rafferty.
Robert Raji, Edie and Howard Ramsberger, Antoinette Rando, Frank Rankel, Mary Redmond, Joel Redmond Jr., Diane Refsland, Reichert family, Mary Ann and Leonard Reinhardt, Constant Renaud, Regis Renaud, Ted Renaud, Al Reynolds, Mildred Reynolds, Carol Ricciardi, Bruce A. Ritchie, Dolores J. Rydell, Lucy Ridgey, Arthur Riker, Katie Riker, Stacy Ann Ritchie, Sal Ritz, Linda C. Robeson, Linda Robeson, Brian W. Roche, Richard M. Rodimer, Tyler J. Rodimer, Roberta Roeder, David Rogers, Susan M. Rode, Lillian M. Rome, Virgil R. Rome Sr., Frederica Rosano, Jackie Rosenblum, Father Robert C. Rosing, Loretta Rowan, Mr. and Mrs. Ed Rosansky, Roger Rubinetti, Charles E. Rude, Kenneth and Jean Rude, Judith Ruggiero, Adele and Leslie Rupert, Philip and Nora Ryan, Alice Sanders, Jordan Dale Sanders, Richard A. Saporito, Marion Satterwaite, Ted Schomburg, Fred Schick, Earl W. Schick Jr., Phyllis Schmidt, William F. Schmidt, Mary Schenkenberger, Elaine Schober, Rosemarie Schuler, Harold Schuler Sr., Joseph Salvatore Shasha, Johnny Sedlock, Charles J. Seeley, Fred Seplow, Beatrice Shanley, Farmer John Schauger, Harrison Schauger, Charles Sheehan, Judy A. Sherlock, David Schuckhoff, Don Schuckhoff, Phoebe and Ralph L. Shotwell, Dorothy R. Sidnam, Carl Sidnam, Les Sidnam, Joan Signorelli, Louis Simonetti, Louise Simonetti, Emma and Frank Sisko. Arlene M. Siverson, Margaret Smarak, Brian Smith, Danny Smith, Doris Smith, Hank Smith, Taryn Smith, Angela Marie Snow, Ethel and Emily Solicki, Brian Solt, Don Space, Sophie Zeta Spagnola, Jacqueline Spink, Evelyn Eppie Stackhouse, Judith Starger, Charles States, Paul and Maria States, Judy Steck, Janice Stevens, John Stockmel, Tina and Richard Stopa, Alfred Stout Jr., Sally F. Stover, Nancy Stawell, Marguerite Strachan, Ted Stundeny, Jack Studnicki, Jacqueline Studnicki, James Michael Sullivan, Jim Sullivan, John Sullivan, Mary Belmont Sullivan, Andrew Sventi, John Sventi, Pat Swistak, Geraldine Bender Syfor, James W. Syfor, Elmer Tagg, Armand Talamanco, Thomas William Talbot, Dennis Tanguay Sr., Vincent C. Tarazona, Patricia Taderka, Grace Torazi, Hilda Tuzinski, Tammy Ten Eck, Trey Ten Eck, Edward Terry, Alan Terwillinger. Our healthcare heroes, the Karen Ann Quinlan staff, Margaret E. Thomas, Matthew Thomas, William R. Thomas, George J. Tilley, George Tilley, John David Tomasula, Penny Tominski, Richard Tao, James Travis, Carmine Joseph Treza, Jared Trockle, Patricia Troxel, John Tuen, George Tamino, Christine V. Turner, Marion and Jerry Turner, Sandra Turner, Uncle Gil, Uncle Robert, Uncle Tommy, Palma Robert Van Ostenbridge, Jason R. Van Tassel.
Norman Vanderhagen, William Varkatapane, Robert Angelo Varisco, Holly Vaughn, Nick Veenstra, Gerald Verdorn, Jason Bernerek, Dottie and Bert Villano, Louis and Dorothy Villano, Lorraine Verga, Alan Anita Vidiello, Nick Volpetti, Frank and Alice Van Atzingen, Mr. John Van Atzingen, Vreeland family, Melissa Wagner, Michelle Marie Wellick, Donald Wallace Jr., Kurt Edward Warner, Peggy Weaver, Joel Wexler, Lillian Wexler, Milton Wexler, Albert Weemstra, Howard Butch Weinrich, my Butch, my fella, Lawrence West, James J. Wester Sr., Joseph Wesley, Alan White of Yes, Dorinda Whitehead, George Whiteneck, Patricia Whiteneck, Alonzo Widener, Betty Weigorst, Danny Wilkins, James and Patricia Wilkins, Jimmy Wilkins, Eileen and James Williams, Michael Joseph Wills, Jill Wilson, Eleanor Wint, Catherine Winkleman, Shirley Winters, Gwen Whitty, Robert Wolf, Erwin M. Wilson, Craig Wood, Joan Wood, Maureen Wood, Robert Wood, Pieter Woodcock, Helen Clark Woodhull, Betty Woods, Joe Woolley, John Wojtas, Timothy Wojtas, Christopher Wright, Gladys E. Wright, Sam Widener, Patrick Joseph Wiley, Elena Yfantes, Patricia Yobs, Bill Zander, David Zeigman, Marie Zeigman, Catherine Zinone, Herta Zichgraf, Lois Zaitone, Maria Zappi, Andy and Nancy Andrinko, Alan Sr. and Alan Jr. McDuff, Marianne Squashchick, William S. Becker, Anthony Converso, Rose K. Braun, Karen A. McLeod, Mary Zamansky, John A. Zamansky, John J. Zamansky family, Blake Zamansky, Tonehild Shanstra, Virginia Andrews, Nancy Andrews, Mary Smits, Neil Goldberg, Betty Lou Fabian, Daniel Conkling, Richard Ungamak, Mary N. Dunphy, Mary Ellen Ramella Stevens, Robert Stevens, Alexis Kim Latch, Scott Brogan, Sugar Lewis, Leslie Harris, Jean Harden, Eugene Harden Jr., Ray Jordan, Arlene Loic Prosciutto, Ruth H.S. Plummer, Dan and Kay Jones, Willard Billy G. Latkin III, Vera Danks, Mary Hardin Sankus, Joy M. Barry Barta, Joyce W. Irvy, Henry Woodward, Fred Fredenberg, Paul Behrens, Donald and Elizabeth G. Orr, Jeffrey Hardin Sankus, Clinton Marshall Cook Jr., Nathan and Adele Rosen, Reverend George Sanchez, Frank H. Gibbs, Hal Walter Loss, Betty Jane Woods, Evelyn Orr, Jesper Peter Van Horn Jr., Irma Hovenkamp, Fran Seagraves, Rex Vivian, Mary Lataro, Angelo Lataro, Bill Hart McGrath, and Rex Doug Vivian. Ronald Korbatayak, Bob Myers. This concludes the name commemoration. I now invite Kathleen up for another musical selection.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops, and way above the chimney tops, that's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I? Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops, and way above the chimney tops, that's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh why can't I?
Thank you, Kathleen, and thank you, Ken, and additionally, thank you to all of our other guest readers today. Gail Lumet Buckley wrote, "Family faces are like magic mirrors. Looking at people that belong to us, we see our past, present, and future. It has been our privilege to honor, remember, and to celebrate the names and lives of your loved ones. We thank you." Marlena?
When mentioning celebrate, it reminds me of Smith McCracken Funeral Home's team member, Pamela Malone. Pam was very active in the Friends of Hospice. She was a member of the Memorial Foundation's governing board, and she attended the very first brainstorming meeting for the Butterfly Release celebration. Every year since the introduction of this very special event, Pam played an active role in shaping its success, and most memorable was Pam's passion about this event being a celebration. Sadly, Pam passed away last October. In her memory and honor, I ask that you join me in acknowledging and celebrating every name read this afternoon for each and every life that has been so beautifully well lived.
In working with Karen and Quinlan Hospice for over 42 years, Smith McCracken and Wood Funeral Homes have had the opportunity to collaborate with many members of the organization. At this time, we would like to thank their professional team for providing unsurpassed level of care and support to so many patients and their families during their time of need. Marlena, can you take a few moments and talk about the additional resources that are all part of Karen and Quinlan Memorial Foundation?
Sure, Rachel, I'd be happy to do so. In addition to helping families and loved ones stay comfortably at home, the organization continues to support patients and families at the Karen and Quinlan Home for Hospice, the beautiful 10-room home-like hospice care facility in Freedom, New Jersey. Another valuable resource is our Joseph T. Quinlan Bereavement Center. Located on Plains Road in Augusta, New Jersey, the Bereavement Center's professional team welcomes all area residents in need of bereavement support. They offer individual and bereavement support in group and individual settings in all 3 counties, as well as specialized memorials and art bereavement courses, all designed to assist anyone working through the loss of a loved one. We're also proud to announce that we will be soon introducing to the community Quinlan Palliative Care. This program, like many programs launched by the Karen Ann Quinlan Memorial Foundation, aims to meet communities' unmet needs. These people served would be those with serious illness, needing palliative care and interdisciplinary team support while continuing with their treatments. At this time, I would like to introduce Mary Ellen Quinlan, the chairman of the Karen Ann Quinlan Hospice Memorial Board, to come up and say a few words. Mary Ellen.
Thank you, Marlena. On behalf of my family, I thank you for coming today and sharing with us the names of your loved ones and their memories. Bob McCracken's parents, Ed and Shirley McCracken, were very early supporters of the hospice. Bob has continued in this tradition in many ways, one of which is the sponsorship of the Butterfly Release. Smith McCracken Funeral Home has been a great supporter of us, and you can see when you go to the funeral home in the curio inside the entrance that there are many plaques or many of the Lennox figurines that they've been awarded by the hospice. The donations mean a lot to us because our mission has always been to provide care for people regardless of their ability to pay, and their sponsorships and your donations help us with that. I would like to present this figurine to Rachel Zebral from Smith McCracken Funeral Home on behalf of the Karen Ann Quinlan Hospice in appreciation for all the support that they've been given to us. Great.
Thank you very much, Mary Ellen, and thank you so much to Karen and Quinlan Hospice for everything that you do for our community. You're an organization that we are so proud to back behind and be able to support because of all the wonderful things that you offer to the people that you serve. At this time, I'd like to invite up Joanne Windsor, chaplain of the Karen and Quinlan Hospice, to share her reflections and closing thoughts.
A big part of gathering today is reflecting back on the love of those that have been released from their illness, released from their pain and their suffering. And as you look at these beautiful butterflies, and in a little bit watch as they take flight, think of your loved one taking flight and being released from all that held them here on earth. And as the wings of the butterfly spread out and show their beauty, so have your loved ones shown to you. We thank you for coming and joining with us today, but most of all, we thank you for allowing us to be a small part of your loved one's life journey. They wrote many, many chapters, and you get to read their stories over and over as you read from your heart and the memories that you have created, maybe in a momentary word, maybe in a blessing of a long time celebrating together. So continue being blessed, continue knowing that you gave a gift that could only come from you by giving your love to your friend, your spouse, your parent, your sibling, your partner. And remember that they too gave you that gift that they left behind to give you strength, comfort, and a time of peace. May you be blessed. May you celebrate, laugh, and remember. Amen.
George Eliot said, "What greater thing is there for human souls than to feel that they are joined for life, to be with each other in silent, unspeakable memories?" It has been a pleasure to gather here with you year after year for this thoughtful afternoon that honors, remembers, and celebrates the loved ones that have embraced each of our lives. At this time, we will take a short intermission and move to the College Green for the release of the butterflies. Please let our volunteers leave the pavilion with the butterfly cages. Then you can begin to assemble on the College Green, where the butterflies will be set free. Please be cautious of where the butterflies land as they are acclimating to their new surroundings. As we move forward this afternoon, I thank each of you once again for sharing this day with us. Thank you.
Take your time, just slow down and look to those who you hold near. They'll give you strength and give you hope and give you all the love your heart can hold. As you share your heart of gold. You've shared your home with all your friends. You've brought us closer together in the end. fly by. We've brought our children here, they know why. So they'll find strength and they'll find hope and all the love their little hearts can hold. As you share your heart of gold, do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Love and thanks held in your hearts with friends and family as if not apart. Butterfly will fly free. It soars so high, shines so brightly. Love is bold with the heart of gold. We thank you for your heart of gold.